Today, it's a clash of the cloud titans, AWS WAF versus Azure WAF. We're going to break down these two massive security shields to figure out which one is the right choice for your applications. So let's dive right in.
So you've done it. Your app is built, it's running in the cloud, and people are using it. That's fantastic. But here's the thing. With that accessibility comes risk. Every single day, applications just like yours are getting hammered by malicious attacks. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how secure is the front door to my business?
And that's exactly where a Web Application Firewall, or a WAF, comes into play. Think of it like a super smart digital bouncer for your application. It stands at the door and inspects every single request trying to get in. Its whole job is to spot the bad guys, the malicious traffic and common web exploits, and block them cold before they even get a chance to knock. Now, when it comes to the cloud, there are two titans in the ring, AWS and Azure. And of course, each one has its own native heavyweight WAF. And these aren't just some optional add-ons. Nope, they are deeply baked into the platform, designed from the ground up to be the default choice for anyone building in their world. You know, at a high level, these two services look really similar. I mean, they both check all the big boxes. Protection against the OWASP top 10, that's kind of the most wanted list of security risks, check. Securing your APIs, check. Dealing with annoying bot traffic, check. And using machine learning to get smarter over time, you guessed it, check. So this decision isn't really about which one is good and which one is bad. It's about finding the right fit for you. All right, so let's get into round one, ecosystem and integration. This is maybe the most important factor for a lot of people. How well do these shields actually fit into the fortresses they're supposed to be protecting? And you can see right here how each WAF is just tailor-made for its home turf. AWS WAF is built to protect the crown jewels of AWS, things like CloudFront, your application load balancers, and your API gateway. And on the flip side, Azure WAF hooks right into its own core services, like Azure Application Gateway and Front Door. It's all about that deep, seamless integration within their own worlds. And users really feel that. I mean, listen to this security analyst. He says with AWS WAF, it's basically a just-click-a-button experience. There's no extra servers to manage, no hidden infrastructure to worry about. For teams that are all in on AWS, that is a huge win. But don't count Azure out, because it has its own powerful integration story. For any company that's deeply embedded in the whole Microsoft security universe, Azure WAF just makes sense. As this user points out, it's all in one suite, talking to tools like Sentinel for threat hunting and Defender for cloud. It just makes planning your security strategy a whole lot simpler. Okay, ding ding, round two. Let's talk about pricing and key features. This is where we get into the fine print, the stuff that can really make a difference to your budget, and how you actually use the tool. The two platforms have kind of different philosophies when it comes to money. AWS WAF is a pure pay-as-you-go deal. You pay for each policy, each rule inside that policy, and every single request it looks at. It's super flexible, but as folks point out, it can get pricey if you suddenly get a huge spike in traffic. Azure is also usage-based, but its real superpower is in the bundle. If you're an enterprise already using a bunch of Microsoft stuff, it can be really cost-effective. And here is a super critical distinction you have to know about in the AWS world. AWS WAF is amazing at stopping application attacks. Think of someone trying to trick your login form into giving up data. But for those massive DDoS attacks, the ones that just try to flood your servers with junk traffic until they fall over, you're probably going to need another service called AWS Shield. And that means for total protection on AWS, you could be paying for two services, not just one.
All right, let's head into our final round. This is all about the day-to-day experience. We've seen the features on the box, but what's it actually like to live with these things when the alerts start flying?
Because look, a powerful WAF that's impossible to manage isn't just a headache. It can actually hurt your business. The single biggest challenge with any WAF isn't just blocking the bad guys. It's making sure you let the good guys, your actual customers, get through without any problems.
And this gets to the absolute heart of a major pain point, one that you hear about a lot from Azure WAF users, false positives. This user on Reddit just perfectly captures that frustrating loop of a legitimate customer getting blocked, and now you have to go digging through logs to add an exclusion over and over and over again.
And this is my favorite example, because it's just so real. A restaurant tries to send a simple message to a customer, "We're out of squash today." And boom, denied. Why? Because the word squash accidentally matched a pattern in a security rule.
That's not just a tech problem, that's a real business problem that just costs you a customer. So to stop that exact squash scenario from happening, AWS has been rolling out features that give you much more fine-grained control. You can use things called labels to tag certain requests and change how rules react to them. You can use scope-down statements to say, hey, only apply this really strict rule to this tiny part of my site. You can even customize the block page and test new rules safely. It's all about giving you the tools to be precise. So, after 3 rounds, what's the final decision? Who's the champion? Well, the truth is there isn't one single winner for everybody. The best WAF is the one that fits your specific needs. You are the judge here, and this is the scorecard to help you make that final call. So, you should choose AWS WAF if your entire world is already built on AWS. That native integration is just impossible to beat. Pick AWF if you're the kind of person who needs that deep, granular control to tweak every little rule and crush false positives. And finally, go with AWF if that flexible, pay-as-you-go model just makes sense for how your traffic works. On the other hand, you should probably choose Azure WAF if your organization lives and breathes Microsoft. If you're already using Sentinel and Defender, that seamless all-in-one-place experience is a massive advantage. And if your top priorities are simplicity and the cost savings you can get from bundling everything together, then Azure is a very, very strong contender. So in the end, it really all comes down to this one question. What is the bigger risk to your business? Is it a sophisticated attack that manages to slip through your defenses? Or is it a firewall that's so aggressive it ends up blocking a real paying customer by mistake? Answering that question will tell you exactly which WAF is the right one for you.